What's going on, everybody? It's Michael Cooper, aka Coop from the Big Scoop with Coop, and I hope everybody's enjoying their day or night whenever you're watching this. This guest that I have coming on next, she has done a lot of things. I mean, her resume is large. From the television industry, movie industry, you will learn more about her today. She's been in shows like the Bernie Mac Show, Wanda McCullough, as they called her on the show. She was the wife of Bernie Mac. You've seen her on the Wayans Brothers, Martin, the Jamie Foxx Show, Moesha, Z Nation, and been in so many other movies. Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest that I have is Miss Kellita Smith, and you're going to learn a lot about her. You're going to hear about how she started in this business, her success. You're going to learn about a lot from Kellita. So sit back, relax, enjoy this episode. Here we go, Miss Kellita Smith. All right, welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Season 7 is still going strong, people. If you haven't already, make sure you do go to the website, thebigscoopwithcoop.com, where you can catch episodes from season 1 through 7. Big shout outs to everybody that's watching on Facebook, facebook.com/thebigscoopwithcoop. You can also find me on Instagram at MCOOP317, Twitter, Scoop with Coop, and YouTube, The Big Scoop with Coop. But enough about me, people. Today's guest, you have seen her on the Bernie Mac Show. You have seen her on Z Nation. She's showed up on Martin. She showed up on so many different shows and movies. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only Miss Kellita Smith. Welcome to the show.
Oh, that was a big scoop from you, Coop.
Yes. How's your day going so far?
Sorry?
How's your day going so far?
It's going great. I just took my mother to the airport.
Oh, wow. Where's she heading to? Out of state?
Home.
Oh.
No. She's actually, so I'm in California. So she lives in Northern California. She lives in Sacramento.
Oh, nice. Big shout outs to your mom. Yes.
Yes.
Now, you have a lot of fans that's been following you for so long. I mean, that's followed you from the Bernie Mac Show. Yes. I mean, Z Nation, you helped grow that show. Yes, I had Pasay Powell on the show. Season 4. P Powell, if you're listening right now, I apologize. I can't remember what season it was, but season 3 or season 4, she was on the show also. She's from Z Nation. I had so many different Pasay Powell. They call her.
Yeah. She was on season 1 and a piece of 2.
Yeah, and she showed up on my show in probably season 3 or 4. And what I've heard about Z Nation, you all have a strong bond, and I like that. But before we get into Z Nation and before we get into the Bernie Mac Show, everybody wants to know, when did you first realize that you wanted to become an actress?
When I was fired from 4 jobs, 9-to-5 jobs in the 1900s. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. It started early. I knew by the time I was 21, I was more of a creative person. I just didn't know where it fit in. I kind of danced more so than anything before acting, and then just took a stab at it and loved it. Nice.
Now, for you, you took a stab at it, you loved it, you got your foot in the door. Now, to get from where you started from to where you're at now, what type of hurdles did you go through to actually, to get to where you're at?
Ooh, we're going to need some tequila shots.
Get 'em.
I think the biggest hurdle was really realizing that I was successful by making the choice. And by making the choice, I got to experience what passion feels like. It's a feeling that you can only give to yourself. No one can give it to you, and it is a freedom. So in the beginning of my career, and I'm saying this for a reason, I wasn't good at it. But what I did not pay attention to was the fact that I wasn't good at it, that I was interested in becoming good at it. And I think as an artist, you always are in development. So there is never there. There's always somewhere else to get to, So that's the beautiful thing I think about what I get to do, is that you're never wrong. It just might not be what they're looking for, but you're never wrong.
Wow. Nice. And you know what? I think a lot of actors and actresses that's actually starting out for the first time, they've tried and they saw what people like you have done, and people in the past coming up to now, even to the Kevin Harts, they see, oh, I see a face on television, they're acting funny, they're acting crazy, I can do it. And they think that they can just go straight to Hollywood and jump into a major motion picture or a television show just like that. And a lot of people, I feel like they're mistaken off of that. They don't know there's some work that has to be put in for that.
Well, I think any time you are looking to be good at something, it is work. When you are an opportunist, you're willing to just dive in. But when you start to learn to respect what it is that is really working through you, which is a God-given creativity,
Yes.
then you respect it. You wanna understand it. You want to understand yourself as an instrument, as a tool. And it takes time for you to get there, especially if you are thirsty and hungry, as opposed to in quest of, or willing to be on a journey, or willing to just unfold as an artist. It's to be respected. It's not to be bastardized.
Now, I'm gonna catch you off guard with this question right here. When you first started up to now, have you seen a lot of people come in with too much confidence and it messed them up at the end?
I don't think that's too much confidence. I think that's either arrogance or ego.
Okay.
When you have too much confidence, you really are confident enough not to even have to put that on your shoulder or your sleeve. It's something that you wear.
Right.
It's not anything you push on people. I've been in the business for over 2 decades, so I've seen people come and go. I've seen people decide in the middle of a situation and leave the business altogether, and are successful in other things. It's not for the faint at heart, and it's not for the greedy.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. Yes. Now, Kellita, I know you actually, and a lot of people don't know this, but you went to Santa Rosa College. Am I correct?
Santa Rosa Junior College, I did.
Yes. What was your experience like during your college days?
Terrible. No, it was actually eye-opening. I realized I wasn't cut out for it. But what I did experience there was an amazing thing where I was actually very broke.
Yeah.
And it was a Mexican restaurant that was actually across the street from the campus. And I would go there to eat, and the owner of the restaurant realized that I was a student, and I would learn a little Spanish with him and speak a little bit. And so after a certain time, he realized I didn't really have a lot of money, so he allowed me to eat lunch there every single day.
Nice.
While I was a student there. I know.
Wow.
I know. Yes.
Like,
Yes. So gracias, mi hermano. Me gusta, mi amor.
Oh, wow. See. Have you ran into him lately?
No. No. And he probably wouldn't even recognize me if he saw me. Or I don't know. Maybe he would. I mean, we morphed. That was in the 1900s. That was in 1980 something.
Okay.
Let's leave it there. Hi.
That'll work. That'll definitely work. Now, I'm going to fast forward up to 1996. A lot of people probably don't know this also. You won an NAACP Theatre Award. I'm just going to, even though I just butchered that, but still, in 1996, you did win it. Tell us about it. How excited were you? Did you even know that was coming?
I was actually nominated for 2 awards in that same year, which was very surprising. One was for a lead and the other was supporting. Because during that time, I would always do a play. Like I would, especially when I was unemployed, instead of hemming and hawing and crying about no money, I would just go jump into a play, go do a play, just get on stage and make sure that I was working on my craft, allowed the theater to be my sandbox. And then I looked up and I was nominated for 2 things in the same year. It was actually very rewarding. It was humbling. And that was actually a very, very great year, which actually allowed me to realize I belonged in the business.
Nice.
Yeah.
And did you ever think that in 1996, even though when you won those awards, did you even think that you will actually accomplish and do what you've done today? in 2019?
I don't know if I thought about it that strategic, but you know, the plan B is to make sure plan A works. So plan A was to come in and do the damn thing.
Hey, smart.
However it is, you know, it's, you know, I think the pinnacle for any cultivated artist is an Oscar. So totally.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Now, you know, a lot of people, like I said, they do know you from Bernie Mac's show. People do know you from Z Nation. People have known you from all over. But what roles did you enjoy the most throughout your career so far?
All of them that paid me. Sorry, excuse me. No, I love what I do. I mean, even in the roles in the theater, you know, I love being an actor. I love acting. So to me, it has more to do with those things that allow me to morph and play and you know, lose my consciousness of who I am and actually become the thing, you know. I mean, all of them, playing Bernie Mac's wife, playing Garcelle's friend on Jamie Foxx, you know, working with Jamie Foxx, playing on In Living Color. Um, I mean, Z Nation, like, oh my God, like, how could I would have never a role like that came right at the time where other Black actresses were starting to become leads of other networks.
Right.
You know, I got a chance to make history. You know, I'm thinking I'm just getting a job to put my niece through college, and actually I became the first Black female lead on Sci-Fi. So I mean, it's the doors open because of your elation for what you're doing. And you can't predict those things. You can't even almost ask for those things, because those things are bigger than you.
That's true.
Because it's bigger than you. You're a co-creator. I'm creating in conjunction with God. I'm a vessel. And there's too many roles that I've done that I've accomplished. I know I didn't know what I was doing. Oops.
Wow. Nothing but
something
God.
bigger than me. Yeah, something bigger than me moves through me when it comes to this. So I'm a witness.
Nice. I like that. I definitely like Kellita.
Come
That's
on, I'm a
put your little
witness.
dance in. There you go. The dancing.
Yes. I'm a witness. Got my finger up. Hey.
Hey, exactly. And I'm a strict believer of, if you put your mind to it, I know this is so cliche, but if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
Look,
And
I'm having a hot flash. I'm sorry.
oh my gosh, that's all right. Take your sip. Go on and drink a little something too. Get it in. It's fine. Fine. Yes, cool it down. and you know, I feel that you can do. A lot of people will say no to you through the business, through the industry, television, movie industry, media industry, and the people that's not even in this business. When you're working a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, you hear a bunch of no's, like, you can't do it, you can't do this, and you can't do that. You're not built for this. I believe if you really put your mind to it, you're going to actually accomplish the impossible. I really do believe that can happen. And it's not just for people that's doing like what I'm doing, people that's doing what you're doing. It could be the common person, and I believe they really think about it and they jump on it and they actually put action to their thought. Something can happen and will happen. And look at you. You went from doing school. You tried the 9 to 5s. It didn't work for you. You did the junior college. I mean, the guy provided you something to eat, and now look at you. You don't have to worry about that now. I mean,
look at me having a hot flash. No, well, you know what? When you are this, what I in tandem to what you're saying. I think when you fall in love with it is that you're doing, the no's don't sound like a no. You know,
right.
they're more of an opportunity for you to understand that there's another door that says yes.
That is true.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not final. No, it's not it doesn't sound negative for some reason. The only way I can explain it is that, you know, when people say, a lot of actors really can't stand the phrase when you audition, they say, thank you. When you hear thank you, that means it ain't you.
That's a soft pass. Okay.
No, but what the thank you turns into, I appreciate you. Keep doing it.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
true. Now,
Yeah.
all the actors and actresses that are watching right now or aspiring to be an actor or actress or anything in this business, you heard what Kellita said. I mean, keep going for it. And there's something that's going to open up for you. You can't give up. If you have soft skin in this business and you hear 2 or 3 no's and you give up on it, you just gave up on your career. So you keep going. Do what you do. I promise you something will open up for you. It definitely will.
If you let 3 no's make you give up, you don't have no career.
So true. I'm glad you said it that way.
Listen.
How many, now just guessing off the top of your head before you even got to Bernie Mac show, or even before that, how many no's did you hear till you got your first break? Just guessing.
I don't recall that, but what I will say is that I had to audition 3 times for that show.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they actually told me thank you twice. And so the last hour, the last day, this story, I won't say the actress that they had in mind, but what I will say is that the president of Foxx at the time was Sandy Gushaw, who did not necessarily wanted to go with their choice.
Okay.
And requested that they brought in a new face, a face that television hasn't really seen or really knows, right? Mm-hmm. So Jamie Foxx and all that, I was recurring guest starring, so I never got permanent anywhere.
Okay.
So I was considered a new face, right? Mm-hmm. So the actress that happened to that they were looking for happened to have been on a project that we did together, and she was less than gracious. So this opportunity came, and it really became clear what this moment was for me. So at that hour, I lotioned up my legs and my elbows mm-hmm. and my knuckles.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And as soon as I saw Bernie walk in, I said, because we were auditioning without him. So sometimes it's hard to play somebody's mate if you don't get to gel or, be with that person. But the great thing about Bernie was I was already a fan, and he was already in my eyes an icon. So I knew enough about his repartee to be able to kind of play. So once I was in the room and I got to work with him, forget it.
Nice.
Forget.
Now, speaking of Bernie Mac show, when the cameras wasn't rolling, how was the environment in the Bernie Mac show? Because I spoke to, I had Camille Winbush on the show a few seasons ago. I had Reginald Ballard. He opened up the show for season 7, and they both had told us stories of how everybody got along. It was so much fun. It was like how Reginald Ballard said was like, when you all are on stage and it's time to do it, you all can have just these general conversations. They'd be like in action, and y'all just snap right into mode.
Got work to do, bruh.
Wow. So what was your experience like, when the cameras was not rolling on the Bernie?
It was, it was unique, and it taught me a whole lot. The great thing about Bernie is we got a chance to, even though I got hired really quickly, and we actually started working late. I got hired that Friday. We started working that Monday. Okay. So he and I hung out just to try to bond, and we talked about how we've worked on other shows and other projects where people weren't as gracious, and not realizing all that it takes for an actor to either guest star, recur, or, all the things that you go through in order to get the job. The job is the vacation. The work is getting it. And I said to him, I always wanted to make sure that we were always gracious to anyone that ever came into our home. This is our home. And he agreed. And so I said, I would love to be able to finally be in an environment where it's not under duress.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Reggie's correct. Camille's correct. When the cameras weren't rolling, Bernie, he was a gentleman, period. So he understood the conversation, and his contribution to the conversation was already who he was. He was already this gracious man. He was always making sure people were comfortable on the set, you know, and you know, like even for Christmas, what we would do is I would make sure the crew's wives had gifts.
Oh,
And
nice.
then as a cast, make sure that the crew had gifts. So our thing was to, you know, try to inhabit and try to incorporate more of a family environment across the board.
Wow, that is nice. That seemed like it's a dream career, right there. Just even working on the Bernie Mac show, because it seemed like you're coming in with not much stress, saying, "How is this gonna get done? I know this show is airing, and gosh, I got to be here with these people for 12, 14 hours." You know, it seemed like it wasn't like that for y'all. It was
No, it was more like, congratulations, glad you're here. Let's do something. Let's play. Let's
nice.
play. And if, you know, if the jokes didn't work or the lines didn't work, then, you know, he would, you know, Jamie was very gracious in that way too. Like Jamie would always, you know, if a joke wasn't working, or if he felt like, you know, maybe your ad lib was better, Jamie would always encourage it. Like that's the thing about Jamie Foxx I really love and appreciate, because he never, in my 2 years of recurring there, I've never seen him downplay anybody or take it or rob anybody of their creativity.
Wow. Big
Yeah.
shout outs to Jamie Foxx,
Yeah.
RIP Bernie Mac. We do miss you. We really do miss you. Do you ever stay connected to any of the cast from the Jamie Foxx show or Bernie Mac?
The kids, yes. I run into, you know, Garcelle here and there, and you know, when, you know, we're kind of busy people. I know sometimes it look like we kicking it, but you know, like I'm on another show called In the Cut. So you know, I've always kind of prided myself on working in drama and comedy simultaneously. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of more of a grinder, of a hustler kind of thing. I'm not really one that kind of goes out to a lot of parties, or, you know, which could probably be to my detriment. But I love working. I love acting.
Nice. And since you mentioned it, that's what I was going to ask you about next. Now, you are in the new season of In the Cut that's on Bounce TV.
Yeah.
Can you tell the people that have not watched this show or heard of this show what this show is about? And what is your role in it?
So In the Cut, I got to them in their second season. So now we're getting ready to shoot the sixth season. It is, first of all, it's a cast that's awesome. So Bentley Kyle Evans created the Jamie Foxx show, who is also a producer and writer of Martin.
Mhm.
And
Hold on 1 second, people. We did lose her. She'll be coming right back up in 1 second.
isn't
Yeah,
that hilarious? Listen, how do you avoid that on a
that's
Skype?
yeah, that's true. That's very true. Hey,
Uh,
people, anything can happen.
listen, listen. So, Bentley Kyle Evans, and he actually created a pilot for me in the 1900s. This was actually in 90, I want to say 97, 98. I'm a big fan of him as a producer writer, and he's always ingratiated me into whatever thing he has going on. And so when he called me about In the Cut, I said, sure, whatever you need. I let him know at the time that I was working on Z Nation in tandem, and so he's worked with my schedule for that. I'm on a cast with Dorian Wilson, John Marshall Jones, Kenny Lawson, Laura Hayes, and we have a host and cast of, you know, a slew of people that come in, and Dorian, who plays Percy, who's so I'm a salon owner, who Dorian's character owns a barbershop and a strip mall. So my salon happens to be in the strip mall, and this is how the second season started. And then he and I started flirting, and so now we got engaged, and now we're married. And so now we are entrepreneurial couple, and showing Black love, comedy, funny, the ups and downs of relationships, what it means to get along with two headstrong people who happen to be attractive people making money. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just having fun. We're having fun, and kudos to Bentley at Harvest Studios in tandem with Bounce TV. And what they're doing is they're doing some remarkable stuff over there.
Very nice. Very nice. Big shout outs to Bounce TV. all the cast and crew that's in the cut, man. Big shout out to you guys also. Everybody that's watching right now, when you get a chance, please, if you have not watched the show, catch up on it. In the cut, Bounce TV, tune in, watch and give love to Kellita. I mean, you got to watch this show. Make sure you do, people. Yes. Now, is there any television shows or movies from the past or even up to the present that you was not in that you wish that you could have been casted in?
Ooh, don't make me take a shot of tequila. Yes. Look, I got a little pet peeve about Panther. No, you know what? This is what I'm gonna say. in funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a couple shows you'd be like, wait a minute, where was I? And hello. You know, especially, you know, monumental projects. You know, you always want to be a part of those, you know, but I believe that you get what you're supposed to have.
Mm-hmm. So come on, you got to spill the beans, Kellita. What name about 2 or 3 of them that
Panther.
Okay.
Panther. I'm gonna say it again. Panther and Panther.
Okay. So,
and that brother, the director, happens to be from my hometown. So I'm gonna say it again. Panther, Panther, and Panther, my brother.
it's time to recreate. We got to bring Kellita in it.
Come on, Panther 2. Come on, Panther 2. If you do it again without me, watch this.
You heard it here first on the Big Scoop with Coop. You better put Kellita in it. You better do it. Yeah.
And
now,
I do my own stunts. Ooh wee.
Oh, that save you more money. There you go.
Ooh wee.
Panther 2. Panther 2. Let's do it. Yes. Now, Kellita, how can your fans follow you on social media? What's the best way of finding you?
I keep it real simple, and it's really simple for myself. Kellita Smith 1 on Instagram and Kellita Smith on Twitter.
Nice. Now, what advice would you give any male or female that's trying to get into the business? I know you've been throwing little nuggets throughout this whole interview, but if you could be straight up with a person, they walked up to you right now and said, I want to become an actor, I want to become an actress, what would you tell them?
Become the actor.
Wow. Straight up, just like that.
Yeah, if we walking on the street, I'm sure I'm going somewhere. I gotta get there. So it'll be quick. And it's you know what it is? It's really telling the truth to yourself what it is you're doing it for.
Right.
Don't judge it. Just be clear about it and do it. And do the work. Just do the work. And usually the work is just finding the confidence that you belong.
Wow. Guys, you heard it here first on the Big Scoop with Coop. I got a new segment that's going on this show, Kellita, and you about to be the second person to do it. I had Joseph Phillips do it yesterday, so it's your turn. This segment right here is called Take the Floor. Basically, this is your chance right now for 2 minutes. Tell your fans if you want to thank them or whatever you want to do. You take the floor, say what you want to say to everybody that's watching right now around the world. It's on you, Kellita.
Okay, I think what I want to say is, in humble heart is, I'm gracious and I am in such gratitude that I have this opportunity in this lifetime to be able to participate where I get to have captivating performances that resonates to people that are either game-changing, life-changing, mind-changing, energy-changing. I appreciate that I do have this platform. I appreciate the people that do gravitate to me because you always have a choice. And usually when I met with anybody who understands my craft, they're so wonderful and so giving, and it's love that I've had to learn to receive because I didn't always grow up with that. So anytime I get an individual that is gracious to me, it grows me. So I say thank you in all of my humility and more to come. And I can't wait to morph into something else. Oscar-wise. Hey.
Nice, guys. Everybody, I hope everybody enjoyed Kellita Smith today. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode of the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm not going to announce who's going to be next, but trust me, other names are coming. Big things are happening. Thank you, guys. Kellita, thank you for being on the show again, and I would love to have you back in the future.
You got it, Coop. Like
it. Yes. Next time on the Big Scoop with Coop.